Hello, everybody. I just came from watching CTRL Control from Netflix. The movie I was kind of afraid to watch because I kind of knew what it was about. At best, I would say it's a big, you know, um, it's a big type of Black Mirror episode that pushes it to the nth degree. At worst, it's just another Love, Death, and Robots kind of style as well. Well, it's in the ballpark of those type of anthology series, which exposes like AI, deepfakes, social media stuff that we are living in today, and the dangers of it and everything else. However, I was expecting more of like the romance and the building out of the romance, and I think that it was sufficient enough. I think that they found quite a difficult task to kind of balance between the romance part and obviously the mystery, the horror thriller mystery that they're going to go for. And I do appreciate the ending that the bad guy won, at the end of it. So spoilers, I guess. I don't know. But I think that what irks me about the film is that I think that it kind of dragged on too long. I think in the middle of it, I kind of guessed 90% of what the movie was gonna go for, and I wasn't wrong. And if you hear the beeps, I'm kind of just letting Planet Crafter run because I'm almost at the mammal stage. Um, so that's the why the beeping is on. And in any case, I think that for me personally, I would have liked more kind of a twist and turn. Like, I don't know. I think for these type of like genres, I kind of expect more sharp acuity and um, well, not really acuity. I would say more twists and turns. Really, it's more on, I would say, where you take the story, and obviously they took it to a place where it's the bad guys who won. But I feel like with Black Mirror and Love, Death, and Robots, we definitely have had the more somber notes about how AI is taking over our lives, and therefore, we do really need to be all out on our privacy, etc. Um, I think for a sci-fi, not really sci-fi, but I guess current social media stuff, Black Mirror episode, as I said, and as I will keep mentioning, because it really did remind me of a Black Mirror episode. Um, I definitely think it ranks more of an average. I think we would have seen this maybe in season 3 or season 4 of Black Mirror. Um, but obviously, as AI gets more powerful, as people get more tech savvy, um, people do get more out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, guys. I think for me, this type of movie kind of falls flat just because we are already experiencing it. There's no real breaking out of the suspension of disbelief because we all know that these type of things are happening in our lives, and I don't know, it's because I'm more delved in into social media or these kind of spaces to know that this is happening, and that's why I've taken a big step back from YouTube and everything else. But it's also, again, as I've said before and as I've talked before, it's more about my creative brain, how I think about what to make my content on. And I struggle to find content nowadays because I don't have that space where I am not being able to do what I want to do. And I think that creativity does stem from something you really, really want to talk about versus you always trying to look for something to talk about, if that makes sense. And I do think the musical sections of the movie kind of um, took me out from the movie at times. I think that it wasn't really necessary, but then again, it is kind of trying to push us back into like what type of content is she making on and stuff like that. So, um, I just don't know how to approach this movie because at the same time, I am like really I really want to laud them for approaching it in the sense of like people using these type of apps to kind of hack other people. So I do think in that regard it is a very good type of turn that they took for this genre. But again, as I've said time and time before, I feel like this would have been more shocking in like maybe the year 2000 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the time we are in now, 2024, it is not that jarring. And I think like for movies, you need to have that stake. You need to have that out of perspective like switch, you know? So I would say I would rate it I'd have to give it an average 6 out of 10. I think for me, I've seen this type of movie before, and that's why I was very hesitant to kind of watch it, and I just on a whim decided to watch it, and I was more than met with my own bar of expectations. So I'm not really regretful, but at the same time, I kind of am, and that's a weird place to be at because I'm just like I just wasted an hour of my life watching a story that I know. You know what I'm saying? Like I already know this is happening. I already know what's gonna happen next. I'm thinking of watching Smile so I can watch Smile too, but I don't know if that's worth it. I was thinking of watching Red, but I have heard some reviews saying that wasn't good, so now I'm scared to kind of watch it. I do remember from the reviews that it wasn't really that great, but I was kind of hoping, that kind of like popcorn filler movie kind of stuff, and I'm more of a popcorn movie guy now. So, um, and by the way, guys, the reason I did dislike Blink twice so much is not because of toxic masculinity. I've seen some people say that, but it is really, really fucked up story, and I will agree that this could happen, but at the same time, I do feel that angle of like the feminists taking control of the man's life, the male's life, is kind of fucked now. Like we've gone full circle, and I come from a place where I would say like revenge is never fully 100% okay until and unless they really hurt something very close to you or have done to you. And I would say that that movie in particular, she did deserve her revenge. However, I think it also plays into a very dangerous narrative that this girl, who was initially a stalker, by the way, so she was not 100% good. Um, what the fuck, two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. I said what I said. I'm sorry if you guys don't like how I think about movies because what I want is a good movie to be entertained, and I will say, like, amongst the movies I've watched this year, I think Trap is a fairly good movie in that, it was a serial killer outsmarting everyone. Um, and I do like that, a predator who manages to worm his way out of even the rest, spoilers, I guess. I don't know. It's been a while. Um, any newer movies, I don't know if I'm gonna even watch more. I guess the next one my family wants to watch is Moana 2. How they're gonna do that movie, I don't know. I'm not really one for sequels. I didn't even really watch Inside Out 2. I don't think that it's particularly interesting to me personally. I appreciated Inside Out 1. I know that I should try it at least because I was really interested in Inside Out 1 and how they're gonna do Inside Out 2. But my fear now is just like, it's not, is it going to be worth my time? And I think that movies have to have some worth. And I think the most worth it movie, in my opinion, this year was Deadpool and Wolverine. That was a really good example of how the movies, worth came into play for my time. Um, and by the way, I know about the Rachel Zegler situation. It's really sad, I think, for movie stars to tank their own careers before it even starts. I think even the wicked co-star, what's her name? I don't even really know because I only know, like, Ariana Grande's name, obviously because she's a famous pop star, but I don't really know the other girl's name, and I'm really sorry, but it is what it is. You're not a big star in my eyes yet. Um, and I have heard, by the way, that they're gonna try to make um, like a new Star Wars movie with Rey as a Obi-Wan Kenobi type character, and I, what I have to say about that, as an ex avid Star Wars fan, is lay it to rest, man. Like, give it up. Like, Star Wars is done. It's over. It's fine. My hopes is that there will be a great Star Wars movie to pull me back in. Again, I grew up with the prequels, so I do have a little bit of a bias towards the prequels, even though a lot of people say that wasn't good. I will still say that Revenge of the Sith is one of the best Star Wars in my opinion. But I know that's a fucked opinion because everyone's like, oh, but the prequels are so bad. I agree that number one and number two are not great. By the way, number one was really boring. I couldn't really sit through it. Number two, the Clone Wars, I couldn't really follow the story. Number three, I do think the action sequences and the world building was good enough to make the transition to episode 4, 5, and 6. So it is what it is. I think the next one is gonna be, I think, Marvel's Doom. I don't know when's that coming out, but I hope that's gonna be soon. I don't know. Um, uh, yeah, guys. The reason I didn't continue the Wukong playthrough as well is because I was really getting pissed off. I might upload the sequence of me winning it. Like, I have the, like, PlayStation kind of records the moment where you win, and I really appreciate that. So I think I might, I still stand by me, like, really getting frustrated at especially Kang Jinlong. That the fucking final, that I think the fourth try, the fifth try, where I died immediately. I was so sure that I could do it, and I was like, fuck this, dude. By the way, game of the year, hands down for me. Everyone knows I'm biased. I will admit I am biased. You guys don't know. much that game means to me. I grew up with Wukong. Um, I remember the first time I watched it was a movie. I didn't grow up with the series, and me being a non-Mandarin speaker, English speaker my whole life, um, and that's why I kind of got triggered by the guy who was like, I don't know what you're talking, like, how you pronouncing it, man? And I'm like, bro, I think you gotta clean your earwax. I clearly said creepy, creepy pasta, not PP pasta. You know, you need your earwax clean, man. I am a near native speaker, okay, and I think you were a bit racist saying that. But anyway, that's not important. The important part is the Wukong stuff. I think growing up with Wukong, he was the one that taught me like you don't need to be bound by your status. You can be anything you want to be. Obviously, at the end, he embraced the teachings of Buddhism, and he became one of the Buddhist figures. But ironically, he is not really a Buddhist figure because he's not really even a high ranking pantheon member of the Buddhist culture. Instead, he is one of the Taoist um masters, or one of the religious figures in Taoism, because he did, at the end of the day, be more embraced by Taoists than Buddhists, simply because of his mystical nature. Taoism is the way of the mystical, the yin and yang, the magical stuff. So it's more fitting to Taoism. Buddhism is a way of life, like how you practice your daily life, how you're treating your elders, how you're treating the young, etc., etc. But this is not about religion. This is about the story of how somebody who was overlooked made a name for himself, and at the end of the day, he just wanted to be recognized, and that really hits home for anyone. So yeah, guys, on the back to the original movie review of Control CTRL, I did really like the somber note that they left on. Obviously, they went back to like her reminiscing on Joe, but I do think in itself that's a callback to Black Mirror episode, because that's where I was like, yeah, I mean, I've seen this before. So had Black Mirror not come out, and had Love, Death, and Robots not come out, I think that this would have been a stronger movie. But then again, I'm still delved into this world that we are in, which is social media, and people stealing your data, etc., etc. Um, it is what it is. I think it came out at the wrong point in time, in my opinion. So 6 out of 10 is still not bad. I mean, I've given movies 4 out of 10, 2 out of 10. I mean, it's a good movie. And I would say don't waste your time on really, like, just watch a Black Mirror episode. It's literally the same episode. So literally the same beat for beat. I mean, there's not much twists, there's not much turns, there's not much drama that took me out of it. Um, and that's about it, guys. I hope that my, I guess, intermittent videos are still keeping you satisfied, but if not, it is what it is. I still love what I built, and I'm appreciative for everyone who's still here with me. But if you are leaving, just know that I love you, and I hope that I will see you again. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!